Hello and welcome to the Dodge 500 here in the Napa Auto Parts Cup Series on the Napa Media Network, presented by the Napa Media Network. We're getting ready for 120 laps from Nashville Super Speedway. First race in the competitor 4 round of the playoffs. Got 6 drivers here in the field. 3 of the 4 competing for a championship are present. So let's get ready to get rolling. I'll see if I can do the starting lineup while pacing. Alright, here we go. So for your starting lineup on the front row, Forza took the pole over Flicker, 2 competitor 4 drivers from Blaze Technology Motorsports and Bear Motorsports. Behind them, owner of Bear Motorsports, Ford, in the 24th, strong qualifying effort for him. To his outside is the 31 of Zach for Drone Strike Racing, the 3rd competitor 4 driver. And on the final row is Late Night Racing owner, Russell, driving the development car, and to his inside is the 42 of Milk, his teammate at Late Night Racing. So we will be seeing the green flag this time, or next time by coming to the green this time. 120 laps around this track is the distance. Getting ready to rock and roll here. 3 stages, 30, 40, 50. The distance respectively for each. Gonna be a good show, I hope. Had really good racing last night in the break series. Hopefully our Cup stars can perform as well. But field gonna be in the hands of the 47 as the pace car pulls off. Making their way to the Ohio Edison restart zone for 120 laps in Nashville. We're green. Good start for the front row. Forza trying to clear up in front of Flicker down into turn 1. Not quite able to do it yet. Now he does. Here comes Ford striking to the inside of his teammate for a second. Single file all the way throughout the field. Flicker now trying to line up his team owner for a pass. Milk trying to make a move for P3. A non-playoff driver racing these guys like he is in the playoffs. Ford now in second. Forza with the lead, trying to pull away early. Ford, a very strong qualifying effort. Got speed in that Chevrolet, showing it right now. A lot of Chevys in the field, actually. I believe this is the first time in all season that there's been more Chevrolets than there have been Fords in the field. I could definitely be wrong on that, but that's just the case here tonight. As they're 3 wide down the front stretch for second. Zach carrying the wave of momentum after winning last weekend at North Wilkes-Barre all the way to second on the inside. Flicker trying to follow him through on the bottom. Ford getting freight trained on the top. 42 looking to take advantage as well. Down into turn 3, a bump from the back, or bump to the back of the 24 from the 42. Gonna send Ford up the track. Got into the 48 of Flicker as well. It seemed to help him though. 4 laps in, Forza already out to a second lead over P2 Zach. A big moment for the 42 going into turn 1. Car got tight on entry, did not want to turn and stay on the bottom. Ford gonna cross him over and take that spot. Up to the bumper of his teammate Flicker, gonna give him a good shot off of Ford, give him a good run on the front stretch. Just mentioned the deficit of Fords compared to the Chevrolets, but both of them are running first and second, so strength in numbers, not so much so far for the Chevrolets. Now Milk looks to the outside of the 24 off of turn 2. Gonna back out and look to fall in line off of 4 here. Zach looking to eat into Forza's gap as he's now got second place. A little bit of room to breathe back from the 48. The top 3 all playoff drivers. As you see a highlight out on the ticker now. Big send from the 48 on entry. Little tap to the back of the 31. Gonna muscle him up, try and get to the inside. Looking for that left rear quarter panel. Can't quite get to it. Gonna fall back in line for now. Saw a lot of beating and banging in the corners last night in the break series. Haven't seen much of that yet so far in this race. Been really clean, really orderly so far. But further back in the pack, it was a dogfight for every position for the entire stint. Really every first 10 laps after a restart, it was wild in the pack. But Zach not getting a lot of trouble from Flicker yet. 48 might be biding his time, waiting until the pit stop to try and make a late move before coming down. These cars can make it about 30 laps on fuel, so it'll be a while until we see that stop. But already coming around to 10 laps into this race, Forza has led them all to this point. Started from the pole, looking to continue that strong run. .24 starting to make some lunges towards his teammate for P3 now. Flicker going to throw the block. 20 laps to go in stage 1. Zach unable to gain on Forza yet, but he's not losing time either. Just hanging right around in that second and a 10th gap. Battle heating up between teammates for P3 though. Ford was shading to the inside. Looked like he might have gone for a move there. If he was racing with anybody but his playoff teammate, he probably would have sent it in there and made some contact. Flicker now focusing forward on the 31 once again. Late night racing car is a bit off the pace so far. Got a pit stop coming up though to work on those race cars, get them how they want them. Flicker now right on the back bumper of the 31 coming down the front stretch. Opportunity for a move going into turn 1. Not gonna take it. Flicker's not pushing the issue yet. Maybe just waiting on the 31 to make a mistake. It's very easy to do so at this Nashville Super Speedway. Block thrown from the 31 late into 3. It's gonna check them both up. Here comes the 24 now into the picture. Flicker now to the inside. Playoff drivers battling for position early here at Nashville. Side by side, even down the front stretch. Who's gonna give going into 1? Zach on the top, out of the preferred groove. Flicker on the bottom. That's where you want to be in these corners. Zach able to hold his own on the top though. What will Ford do? Will he try and push it through wide, or will he help his teammate? Down onto the apron goes to 24 behind these two. Flicker with a good turn 4 exit will clear the 31. Zach looking for the crossover though after some contact with the wall. Back to the 48s inside. Flicker now going to have to try something going into turn 3. Going to be right on the bumper headed down the backstretch. Pulls out to the inside. Zach blocks. Flicker thought twice about it though after seeing the 31 react that quickly. Hard battling going on from P2 to P4 as now Ford sends it in on his teammate, got into the bumper, looking inside, but then backs out of it as he had the positioning inside, but decided to back out, not hold his teammate up at all. Ford's being a good teammate, but I think he's just as fast, if not a little faster than the 48 right now early in this race. Being a good teammate though, letting him race for that playoff spot, that playoff point actually at the end of the stage. With Zach, a fellow playoff driver. Let's take a look at our keys to victory presented by Home Depot for this weekend in Nashville. First on the list, we got the heavy braking into these corners. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen. These cars are reaching out almost 190 in the draft down these straightaways, and then they're braking all the way down to about 150 in the corners. 30-mile-an-hour braking, that's a lot more than we see at usual, traditional ovals of this shape. Nashville is a mile and about a third, so a little shorter than traditional mile and a halves that we run, but very heavy braking. That's a challenge that these drivers are going to have to deal with. And as I was saying earlier, this track is very bottom dominant. You really want to be right on that yellow line, not touching it, because that'll definitely slow you down if you clip those left side tires, but you want to be right on that yellow line, just as we see Flicker doing right there. Then you got to set yourself up for the corner exit as well. And our final key to victory, there was no practice on Friday as there usually would be as we were observing Independence Day here in America. So a little bit of a learning curve for these drivers, as they just had their only time on track for the weekend about 30 minutes prior to green flag. Flicker got around the 31 for P2 though, going to try and set his sights on the 47, who's a bit of a ways ahead in the windshield. All that battling between those three opened up a 2-second gap for Forza. 10 laps to go in stage 1, coming around to 9 is the 47. Forza, your series leader and wins this season with 6. Typical success for the 47 team. 3-time Cup Series champion here in the NAPRA, looking to add on a 4th at the conclusion of this year. It's been a bit of a championship slump for the 47 though as of late. I know it's unbelievable to say that, but that's just the level that Forza always performs at. You expect him to go race for championships, win for championships, but the last 2 seasons it's been Torino winning it in season 6, and then last season Flicker, the 48, winning the championship. So Forza, a little bit of a dry spell championship wise, you know, getting some cobwebs on that shelf that I'm sure he has in his home. But battle for second back on. Zach to the inside of the 48. Oh, door slam down into turn 1 from the 48 a bit. Trying to hold his own on the outside. Zach on that bottom line. That's where you want to be, like I said, like the key to victory. Gonna run him up the track a bit, that 31. Flicker on the bumper looking for the crossover. Zach defending it well, though. Flicker looking down, even all the way to the apron almost. Gonna take the inside. Not gonna be able to clear yet. Zach hanging tough on the outside for now. Ford coming into the picture once again. What will he do? Will he be as patient as he was earlier in this stage? Forza just took 5 to go. The top 5 all receive stage points. The top 2 receive playoff points. That's what this 48 and 31 are battling for. Into the back bumper goes the 31. Ford as well into the back of the 31. Flicker now on the top down the back stretch. Zach trying to take advantage on the bottom. A big send from the from the 24 on entry. All but got to the back bumper of that 31. We've seen relatively much cleaner racing than what we saw last night in the Napa Break Series. Nothing short of just as exciting, though. Coming around to 3 laps to go. Pit road will close when the leader takes 2. Saw the 42 at the top of the screen, a little slow on the apron, coming off of turn 4. Might have been trying to pit, might have just overshot the entry right there. Flicker into the back of the 31 again. Zach holds tough, though. Forza takes 2 to go. Pit road closes. Zach builds up a about 2 car length gap over the 48 down the backstretch. Might have this P2 in the stage locked up. Flicker sending it in hard, though, trying to get back to him. Off of turn 4 to see the white flag in stage 1. Who's going to take this last playoff point? Will it be the 31 or the 48? 2 playoff competitors. Been going at it since the drop of the green. Flicker's there. He could send it in on him into turn 1, or turn 3, excuse me, for the final time in stage 1. 48 into the back, 31 up the track a bit. Able to hold the wheels straight, though, and Zach will take home P2 in stage 1 as Forza cleans up and wins the opening stage here in the Dodge 500. 40 laps the distance now in stage 2. As Flicker's now on the inside of the 31 here. His teammate Ford looking to follow him through here. Gonna go 3 wide. Wow! That was risky from the 48 and 31. sudden decisions to pit. Almost caught the 40 or the 24 of Ford. He almost got caught up in a wreck there. Shoved it in bottom 3 wide for a moment there. But the pit cycle has begun. Got 3 cars on right now. And all of them are good in their boxes. Just can't speed on exit. Because that could destroy your second stage. None of them do. Here comes the 24. Top of the screen hitting pit road. Cleanly in his stall. Forza the leader yet to pit. We'll see if this undercut works out for the 48 and 31. Flicker got a big gap off the 31 coming through pit road. Great stop for that Lowe's Bear Motorsports crew. The 30 of Russell's also yet to pit. Ford will rejoin the track right with the 31 just as they entered. And Forza turns left, makes the hard turn left down onto pit road. His first stop of the day. No complaints about the car, just coming down for routine 4 tires and fuel all the way down to the first box. And he is good, a little far in his box, but nowhere near the line. And the 30 also at the top of your screen coming down pit road. Hard to see him in that all black car compared to this very dark pit road pavement. The bright colors and the logos stick out though. He's in his box, a little trouble getting in, but makes it in without a penalty. And that will wrap up our first pit cycle of the night. Forza maintains the lead. Flicker comes out with a big gap over 3rd place and 4th place, who he was racing on entry. We'll see what the gap is between the 47 and 48 this time across the line. A little bit of a gain from the 48 on pit road, so the undercut played into his favor a bit. Here comes the 30 coming off pit road. Going to be a lap down to the 47. Going to come out right in front of the 48, a Chevrolet affiliate. And he'll just get up out of the way. Zach and Ford now racing for P3. Ford eliminated from the playoffs last weekend after North Wilkesboro. Couldn't make it to a lot of the races, so unfortunate for him. He was able to make North Wilkesboro, but at that point he was mathematically unable to advance to the next round. Speaking of that, let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. You'll see all the drivers highlighted in red were eliminated post wildcard 8 finale at North Wilkesboro. Zach got a clutch victory, put himself 3rd above the cut coming into this race, coming into this round, or third in the competitor 4, first below the cut actually, excuse me. But you see Forza and Flicker both above the cut, 1st and 2nd, currently in the championship duel. 2 reigning champions up there, and then 2 younger drivers who have yet to see a championship, Zach and Villain. Villain is not present here tonight, so I'm sure his points will take a hit. We'll see if he can dig himself out of it and make some noise at Homestead and Elwood the following 2 weekends before Charlotte, our season finale. Ford looking to the inside of the 31 for P3. Gonna dive it in up the track a bit. No contact made yet. A little close off of 4 though, and Ford will clear for that spot as they come across the line to take 30 to go in stage 2. Zach firing back to the inside. Tried to come up in front of the 24. Was not quite clear. Contact was made. They got into the wall. Little scrub against the wall, but they keep going. 31 completes that pass. Here's a second look at it. Coming across the front stretch. You'll see him right when the camera cuts. Zach, spotter must have cleared him because he came up like he was clear, caught the nose of the 24. But luckily they were able to bounce off the wall, continue going. And now, still battling. Battle for third still going on. Zach starting to open up the gap now from the 24, about a car length down the front stretch. 25 to go now in stage 2. It'll be interesting to see if these guys can make it to the end of the stage with when some of them pitted. Cars can make it about 30-35 laps on a full tank. So we'll see who will be able to stretch it, because pit road will close at 2 to go and then we'll have a caution. So you don't want to push it trying to pick up stage points and then run yourself out of gas under caution or something like that, because that would be the end of your night. So we'll see if some people decide to take the risk and push it for stage points, or will everybody just concede to the fuel and hit pit road before it closes with 2 to go. Forza continues to lead as his gap opens up to nearly 3 seconds over Flicker. And we welcome you back from our Crank It Up presented by Jags. Forza is still your leader with 10 laps to go in stage 2. Continuing to open up his gap over Flicker back in second. Zach starting to pull away from Ford back in P3. 24 car is starting to fall off over the course of this long run. We'll see if he can make any moves, make any positions up when we get a caution at the end of stage 2. Also got to keep in mind, pit road closes with 2 to go in this stage. Looking at some of the fuel that these drivers have on board, none of them are going to be able to make it all the way to the end. Only one who could be close is maybe Forza. Well, Russell. Well, actually, yeah, Russell can make it, but he pulled over for a while. So yeah, Forza. He was the last one to come down on that first cycle, so he'll be the longest one to stay out right here. See if he decides to try and stretch it all the way to the end of the stage. Flicker, I think, yeah, he's already on pit road. Not going to try and push it, knows he can't make it, so he's going to come down. Get his service with 6 to go. It'll put him behind the 8 ball for stage points here, but should put him ahead after this, should he decide to stay out on this next caution. Zach also on pit road. He pitted the lap with Flicker on that last cycle, decides to stay out one longer this time. Here comes the 24 peeling off the banking. 75 miles an hour, the speed limit on pit road. Cannot break it or you will get busted and have to serve a drive-through penalty. 24 a little far on his box, has to back up, but he's good. 42 of Milk hitting pit road, followed by the 47 of Forza, the leader. Decided the fuel wasn't enough, decided to come down pit road now. With 4 to go, now 3 as he crosses the line on pit road. Ford finishing up his service and leaving pit road. Milky first to his box. Forza now in his stall. And he's going to beat the 42 off pit road. Going to come off nose to tail. Oh! My goodness. Not sure what happened there. It looked like some lag caught the 42 there. Forza might need to respawn his car after this caution. Or Forza will definitely need to respawn his car after this yellow. Or under this yellow, whatever. But pit road is now closed with 2 laps to go in the stage. Forza nonetheless will pick up the stage win unless Catastrophe strikes for Flicker, his closest competitor, 4 seconds back. Zach opened up his gap even more from the 24 after that stop. But none of that will matter as we are seeing the white flag in stage 2, and then we will see a yellow flag immediately after Forza takes the green and white checker, which he is looking to do so, looking to sweep the stages here in Nashville. Forza off of turn 4 for the final time in stage 2. He will see the green and white checkered flags and win stage 2 from Nashville. Flicker brings it home second. Milky a lap down. Zach picks up third. Ford and Milk take P, 4 and 5 respectively.
What?
You can't stop on a closed pit road, even if you're respawning your card.
Oh.
It still resets your fuel. It's basically taking a pit stop. Now pits are open. Flicker leads him down on the pit road, followed by the 31 of Zach. I told you to do so when I didn't say. You should know to pit when pit road is open. Why would you do it under a closed pit road? There's no point of doing it on closed pit road. Why not just go down with everybody else when it's legal? It's basically taking a pit stop without having to wait. Flicker wins the race off over Zach, Milk, and Ford. Milk will get the lucky dog. Alrighty. So we'll see the green flag next time by. Flicker will be the control car. Zach will choose right after him. Then the 42 of Milk, a good bounce back for him after being a lap down. Picking up the lucky dog and then a good pit stop. Puts him P3 in front of the 24 of Ford. As we come across the line. Choose cone will be in play on the backstretch. We'll see how the field divvies up. And everybody taking the bottom. All right. Forza pulls off to serve his penalty. Flicker leads us into the Ohio Edison restart zone, and we're back green. Single file restart, looking like the Winston Cup Series, but nonetheless, 3 wide already in turn 1 for a moment there. 42 pulls out of it. Now the 31 clears in front of the 24, blocking him down the backstretch. Big block thrown from Zach. Ford not having any of it into the bumper a couple times there. Flicker trying to take advantage and drive away while he has the lead. Zach not having any of it though. Gonna get a really good turn 1 entry. Not as good a corner, center corner. Side by side behind him for P3 between the 42 and the 24. Flip-flop numbers going back and forth for P3. A pit stop essential to make it all the way to the end of this race. That'll be the money stop. 42, big blocking down the backstretch. Oh, now here comes the 24 to his inside. A really good rotation and corner drive off for the 24 Ford. Gonna take P3. Flicker getting pressured for the lead though from Zach. Zach has been on a heater late this season. Got his first win of the season at Talladega. Then last weekend One at North Wilkesboro. Fighting for the lead here late at Nashville once again. Looking for a way around that 48, but Flicker is making that car wide, not making it an easy pass at all for the 31. Sorry about that. 34 now left in this race. We saw Zach get by Flicker for the lead there, but Flicker not going to let him have it for very long. Flicker only got one win on the season, came at Texas late in the regular season, but outside of that, it's been a bit of a dry season for Flicker in the wins category. Could really say that for the entire top three, except Zach's found his stride as of recent. Picked up 2 wins in the last 5 weeks, I believe. Yeah, 5. 24 Ford winless on the year, though. It's been an incredibly long drought for the 24 car. That team has just not been able to find victory lane for the past couple seasons. But he's putting together a strong run here tonight, currently sitting P3. As long as he can close it out, he'll be in a make it for a good night. Battle for the lead. Flicker going to the inside of Zach. These two are going back and forth. Flicker clears off of turn 2. Decisive move to gas it up off the corner and get going down the backstretch. Now the 31 into the back bumper there. Flicker trying to block. Is that going to force his way to the inside? A little bit of contact down the front stretch. Flicker holding his own on the top. Oh, and the 42 has been parked. Wow. .42 of Milk has just been disqualified from the event. He reached his limit of warnings and was disqualified by race control. Officials are not playing around tonight. And there goes the 42. Still fighting for the lead, though, the 48 and 31. Continuing to pull away from the 24 as well. Just has to show how strong these cars are compared to the field. 47 to Forza has been the best car overall all night, but that penalty really put him behind the ball. He's banking on a caution at this point, or some big mistakes on pit road from his competitors. We'll see if Zach can hang on the outside this time. Trying to gas it up. Good rotation for Zach. Going to hang on the door of the 48. Even down the back straightaway. Zach has got that 31 car rolling on around the track, like every groove, man. That was really impressive what he did in turn 2. Wasn't able to replicate it in 3 and 4. Flicker clears. Zach back to his inside. .31 now to the lead. Flicker back in chase mode. Saw him clip the apron right there on corner exit. Not really what you want to do. A little bit too aggressive on the corner entry, trying to get that car straightened out before he accelerates. Zach leads us to 23 to go. Closing in on our final stop of the night. A rough estimate, I'd say we're about 10 laps out. So we'll see what pit road looks like with about 14, 13 to go here. Will we have anybody try a bold undercut like we saw last night? I believe it was the 54 Volvo, I want to say we saw try that bold undercut from a number of laps earlier than strategy called for. Didn't end up working out for him. What? I doubt it.
He could.
I doubt it.
I mean, he could. You don't know. He just doesn't need to choke it.
It's Ford we're talking about. It's Ford. That's why he won't win, because he'll just choke.
He did what Bo did yesterday. Pit with 16 to go and then get a driver.
Or run out of fuel. 20 laps to go at the line. Zach defending hard from the 48. Flickers. Oh, what got to the inside? Zach slammed the door on him. Flicker was really patient, really forgiving. He lifted out of that. Could have sent the 31 spinning down to the infield, but decided against it. Zach being really aggressive here late. Wants to go 2 in a row. I do believe the 48's a bit faster. Flicker on the bumper. Couple taps coming off of 4. Oh, 24 pulls down. Hitting pit road this time as the leaders take 16 to go, excuse me. Gonna try the undercut from P3, about 3 seconds back from the leaders. The 30 actually came a lap before him. He goes a lap down as he exits pit road. Ford needed a good stop here for the undercut to be as beneficial as it can be. We'll see where he cycles out. The leaders just went by. See the 24 coming off pit road right now. Got to follow that access road. Cannot get up onto the bank section of the track prior to that blue line, and he doesn't. Now, when will Flicker and Zach pit? Here comes the 48. Late decision from Flicker. Think he caught the 31 off guard. Zach wanted to follow him down. Flicker, a great job catching the 31 off guard, coming down at the very last second to make that commitment line. And he's, oh, so close to the line, not touching it. Wow, that could have been night ending. That could have been a night ending penalty for the 48 right there. Keeps the car underneath him. Now Zach on pit road. Let's see how this 24 blends back up. 48's already down and back on the throttle all the way, already into turn 3. So not going to catch him with the undercut. We'll see if he can get back around to the 31. Battle for the lead. Zach coming off pit road. Can he make it? Can he get off the access road effectively? Flicker already coming around at speed. Flicker's gone. Incredible final pit sequence for the 48 Lowe's team for Bayer Motorsports. Great execution by the driver. Great stop by the crew. Puts him well in front of second place late in this run. Forza got the penalty earlier. Oh, and he's out of his box. That's another penalty for him. Looked like he was out of his box. Yep, there's the penalty. A bad night gone worse for Forza. Insult to injury. Had to surf a drive-through under green on the restart. And then a rare slip up on pit road for the 47. Completely takes him out of contention of this race. Could have had a caution, could have brought him into it. Or brought him back into it, but now he's going to likely go a lap down here. Maybe not. So it might not be over for the 47, but definitely without a caution, his shot of winning is gone. Flicker takes 10 to go. Zach, just within a second of him. This battle isn't over. If the 31 can get back to the 48, there will be contact. That's how Zach won last weekend at North Wilkesboro. He wasn't afraid to put the bumper to the back of some people. Wasn't afraid to ruffle some feathers, make some contact, beat up the corners of that race car. Zach's willing to do whatever it takes to get a win. So we'll see how far he pushes that car if he can get back to the 48. Flicker has been so good on these mile and a halves this season. His only win on the season to this point came earlier at Texas, where he quite dominated that race. And I believe it was a pit cycle that put him out in front there as well. Pit cycle got him out front here again here at Nashville. 31 looking like he's closing on him though. Zach has that draft from the 48, so that is playing into his favor. Can he get there in time? Neither of these drivers can make any mistakes, cannot put a wheel out of place. Ticker says he's 4/10ths back. I don't think that's accurate. Looks like he's about still 7 or 8. Got the lap car of Forza in the windshield, or Flicker does. So that if he gets a little closer to Forza, that could give him some draft pull down the straightaways. Aid his efforts in staying away from the 31. Oh, you see it at the bottom of the screen. His speed went up to 189, 190. That's about the speed that these cars get to when they're in the draft. Yeah, Flicker's got a little bit of draft from Forza. Coming around to 5 to go at Nashville. The Dodge 500. Bear Motorsports looking to sweep the weekend once again. I don't remember if they've done it yet this season, but Flicker looking to pick up his second win of the season, looking to sweep the weekend after Panda got it done last night in the Break Series. Zach charging hard though. Can he make up the ground in time? 3 to go now at the line. Zach getting bigger in the mirror of the 48 car as laps go by. What will the 31 do when he gets to the 48? If he gets to the 48, I think this has become a when matter more than an if matter, because that 31 is on rails right now in this final run after that pit stop. Got to watch the wall. Cannot get yourself a penalty and cannot get yourself a warning and then have that result into a penalty this late. Saw a lot of that last night. Late penalties took the 54 out of the race, I believe. Some other drivers that I can't think of off the top of my head because they weren't as mad as the 54. But Flicker now off of turn 4 to 2 laps to go in Nashville. Can he hold off the 31? Pit road closes. Zach trying to close. Neither of these drivers want to put a wheel out of place. Both of them in the playoffs fighting for a spot in the championship duel. Going to come down to one more lap here at Nashville. Flicker takes the white flag. Zach, 4 more corners, 2 more sets of them to make his move. He receives a warning for tapping the wall. Got to be careful on this final lap. Cannot get yourself a drive-through penalty. That will ruin your finishing results. 3 and 4 for the final time. What does the 31 have? Sends it in as hard as he can. Not going to get to him. Off of turn 4 for the final time. Flicker is your winner at Nashville in the Dodge 500. Win number 2 on the season comes at Nashville for the 48 team for Bear Motorsports, as team owner Bossman Ford picks up a P3, closing out a strong weekend for the organization, giving his teammate a victory bump on the cooldown lap. Forza bounces back to finish P4s, and Russell takes on P5 2 laps down. Great show put on. Great finish. Looks like we got some dual burnout action going on here. Teammates gonna burn it down on the front stretch here together at Nashville. Oh, a little contact there. Flicker with the checkered flag in hand, out the window. Great win for the organization. Gonna try and get a nose-to-nose thing going on here. Struggling a little bit. Team owner of Bear Motorsports invited to burn it down on the front stretch along with his teammate who won the race. Flicker, reigning champ, picks up win number 2 on the year. Good friends off the track. Great boss-driver relationship those two have. here in Victory Lane, BGE Victory Lane. Great win for the 48 team. Only second win on the season. Surprising if you've kept up with our season, how fast this team has been, week in and week out. But see if we can grab Flicker for an interview. Here in Victory Lane with Flicker, winner of the Dodge 500 in the Napa Auto Parts Cup Series. You ran a great race, had a very strong car all night, and end up in BGE Victory Lane for surprisingly just the second time this year. So, congrats on the win, and tell me how it feels to be in Victory Lane again.
It feels great being in Victory Lane with this Lowe's for Pros Chevy, and we had a very strong car, and we capitalized on Forza's mistake and penalty, and we ran a great race with Zach. He raced us clean, and we raced him clean, and it was just all fair game to the end, and yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining to watch you two go back and forth up until that final pit stop. Saw the dual burnouts with your team owner Ford. Ford, get over here. I know you want to say something. I know you're proud of your guys. So, Ford, got to watch your driver take the checkered flag from inside the car. A P3 for you also. Yeah. Great result overall for Bear Motorsports. Weekend sweep completed. Great weekend for the organization. Tell me how you're feeling from a team owner's perspective after this one.
From team owner's perspective, I am feeling very good, actually, because I know me and Flicker have had some recent talks about the future of Bear Motorsports, and now to same day be able to come out here and have good performance from him, especially after last year being a champion. Maybe we can go back to back. I mean, that'd be pretty nice.
All right, well, I got your opinion from a team owner's perspective. So how'd this race go from the driver's seat for you?
It was one of my better races. I mean, I wish I could have better developed later on in the race. I mean, I think I was really close to everyone in the beginning. I just think my corner exit didn't get better like everyone else's did. I think everyone else got slightly better with corner exit, and I did not. Because I know, again, Zach's one of my favorite guys to race. When I was racing Zach one-on-one, and Flicker one-on-one a couple times, I know that I was very good in the beginning of the race with corner exit. It was pretty even, especially when they battled. But then later on in the race, when I was with Zach again, before pit strategy, I lost a good amount of ground on corner exit a lot and just could not make it back up. So, and I think warnings kind of played into that a little bit. I didn't want to hit the wall because I know warnings were very strict today. I don't even know why I got my first one, honestly. But anyway, so I think it was pretty good.
Yeah. Like, as I said, great weekend for Bear Motorsports. Cleaning up the weekend sweep. Congrats on the win, Flicker and Ford. And hopefully we see both of you next weekend at Homestead.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Let's grab Russell. Here on pit road with the driver of the number 30 tonight, Late Night Racing Development car, Russell, owner of Late Night Racing as well. Solid result. Got a top 5 after your teammate was disqualified for reaching the maximum amount of penalties, but nonetheless, good result for you. How'd the race go from the driver's seat for you? Russell, you gotta accept the invite. Is he here? Okay, I guess he's not here. Well,
He's not here.
he's in the thing, but I invited him to speak, but he hasn't accepted it. All right, well, I suppose that will do it for our coverage of the Dodge 500 from Nashville Super Speedway. Great weekend of racing here on the 1 1/3 oval in Tennessee. Next weekend we'll be at Homestead down south in Florida for the second race of the competitor 4 round, third to last race of the season. Hopefully you'll tune in 7 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday and Sunday as always. Should be a fun weekend. Great racing at Homestead always. And yeah, should be fun. So hopefully you tune in. This is King.